Welcome to Keep What You Earn, your judgment and jargon-free zone for entrepreneurs of all levels. Get ready to learn how to scale your business, save money in taxes, and create a business that grows your wealth. If it feels like the financial side of business is like eating your vegetables, well, then think of this podcast as the ranch dressing to make the process a little more enjoyable. My name is Shannon Weinstein. I'm a CPA and business owner on a mission to simplify money and empower others through knowledge. I hope this episode inspires you to take action, but remember that the information we share is for educational purposes only and is not individual tax advice. Now that we got that out of the way, let's start the show. One of the toughest things about what I do is the set of labels that people give accountants. We have so many different names. We have accountant, bookkeeper, tax pro, enrolled agent, CPA, CFO, all of these different things, right? Controller. And the general public does not understand the difference between any of these people. Even financial advisor. Very, very frequently, I get approached by clients or by folks who follow me on Instagram, and they'll say, "Hey, Shannon, can you help me with XYZ problem?" And I'm like, "No, I really can't. I don't specialize in that." And we went through an episode earlier about, do I need multiple accountants? I think it was called. And we talk about the different roles of different types of accountants. And I think I mentioned the CFO on that episode. But what I want to do today is I want to unpack for you what a fractional CFO actually does, because it is so challenging. Because this episode's going to be between 10 and 20 minutes. I know that. And it is so challenging when someone asks me that in like a text message or on Instagram or wherever. And they say, "So what does a fractional CFO do?" And to be honest, I'm still working on distilling that into a sentence. I really am. But in a nutshell, if I had to, I would say that they help you turn the data into decisions. That's the long and short of it. But let's talk about that for a second. So what does a fractional CFO actually do, and why would you ever need one? This is a really common question. And the argument I always hear is, well, I have a bookkeeper, I have a tax pro. What do I need anything else for? And I'll tell you why. So if you're a growing business, you've got a bookkeeper who is keeping track of the entries, keeping track of the income and expenses, making sure all the books are correct. Fundamental, absolutely, you need this. Number one, stop here, go get a bookkeeper, right? You need this in your business, no matter what level you're at. If you have this bookkeeper in place, you also need somebody who can do the tax compliance work. You need someone who can do the forms, who can take what the bookkeeper does and turn it into legitimate tax returns and papers that will, pass the sniff test, that will be compliant, that will, check all the boxes. So once you have the basics down, when you have the tasks of keeping track of your data and you have the compliance aspect, meaning that you're staying out of trouble, now we get into strategy, because neither one of these people generally, I'm generalizing here, generally neither one of these people in their job description include helping you grow your business. These are the folks that you need to have on your team to maintain. These are maintenance roles. These are the people who get you from Hot Mess Express to got your shit together. But if you're at the got my shit together phase, right? That's not enough. If you want to grow into a 7-figure business, if you want to grow beyond 7-8 figures, you want to be maintaining a team, you want to grow and scale an actual company, then just having your shit together is not enough. You also have to be growth minded. You also have to have ambition. You have to have direction and be able to set and communicate that direction to the folks who work with you. And this is more than just a people thing, a motivator thing, a charisma thing. You actually need to be grounded in your numbers. You have to know what is working and what isn't. You have to be able to steer the ship and know where to avoid the icebergs, right? So what does a CFO actually do? They take that data and they help you turn that into decisions for your business. So understanding your goals, it's where the data meets the goals. And if we take your bookkeeping, we take your financial statements, a CFO can read them and zoom out and say, okay, hold on. So it looks like cash flow is here. We're actually losing cash flow. You're profitable, but we're losing cash flow because you're pulling too much out of the business for personal expenses. You have to be really careful about that because of X, Y, and Z. Or, hey, I noticed that a goal of yours was to spend less time working in the business versus on the business. But I see here that you only have one team member and it looks like you're doing a lot of the work yourself. How can we leverage other people's time or leverage your money to get a return on investment by hiring someone? These are the conversations we have with our clients, which are really fun because we're talking about business strategy. And if you're thinking, well, Shan, this sounds like a business coach, it's because it is. We're basically business coaches that are driven with numbers. What you may not realize is a CFO is truly a coach. It's somebody in your corner who can influence you and to help you see what you can't see, to cover those blind spots, to be able to hold you accountable as well to your responsibilities, and to see where you need to take action. And especially in the financial area, this is something that entrepreneurs always tend to, put off or try to completely delegate. And we want you to start thinking strategically about your business. We want you to be that role model for your team and to be able to understand exactly how your decisions are impacting your bottom line. Because at the end of the day, your business is not here to entertain you. Your business is not here to provide charity services. I mean, unless you're a nonprofit. Your business is not here to just exist. Your business is here to make money. Okay. And I know that that can sound cold, which is interesting because like a business is designed to make money. And if you're not making money, then the business won't survive. The business has blood flow, right? Like if you cut off the blood flow, someone dies. And that's the cash flow. Cash flow is blood flow in your business. You have to keep it alive. What a CFO can do is clear out the bottlenecks, clear out the obstacles, help you see how cash can flow better through the business and how you can optimize your use of cash. They can also, like I said, hold you accountable, tell you the truth, tell you what you need to hear, even when it's not sugar coated. That's actually one of my favorite things is we have like tough conversations. You have to be willing to have those tough conversations with a CEO to bring them down to earth, challenge the ego, and actually say, but is this working? I know you like this, but is it working? Is this in alignment with your goals? I know you have this new grand idea, but can we stay focused on finishing this one thing first? Because this is what's going to actually bring in the money and resources to enable you to explore that idea. If you don't have somebody in your ear providing that for you, then I would actually encourage you to hire someone, whether that's called a coach or called a CFO, but you should have someone who understands how to read the numbers. And that's why the CFO is so important. Now, how is this different than a CPA? So, Shannon, you're a CFO and a CPA. Well, how are these things different? A CPA is simply a certified public accountant. It's a license that we get after we pass a really rigorous exam and we work in public accounting for a certain period of time. Now, a CPA, in the way it's commonly used, is a CPA is described like it's just an accountant or a tax professional. Most CPAs, I'll say most with a bold, most CPAs explore and specialize in either financial accounting, bookkeeping, or tax preparation work, or sometimes tax strategy. And sometimes they go the CFO route. There's so many different careers you can have with an accounting degree, and that's why it's so confusing. But a CPA, in the way it's commonly used, if you say my CPA, what I picture is somebody working in a firm who does your taxes every year and maybe provides the bookkeeping. But again, they're checking the boxes, they're doing the compliance work, they're keeping you out of trouble. But just staying out of trouble isn't enough. If you're out of trouble, great. You're going from negative to zero, but how do we get into the positive, right? How do we grow? That is what we're trying to do as CFOs. And CPAs, not to knock them, I mean, I am one, but I would say that how are they different is what they're actually doing for you, what problems they solve, and what questions they answer. What questions they answer. And one great exercise to figure out, do I need a CFO? Like, what do I actually need in my business? Is to really unravel what questions are unanswered. What questions do I need answered? Here are some examples to give you a head start on this. What questions are unanswered? Can I afford to hire someone? When should I hire my next person? Should I invest in this coaching program? Am I spending too much on advertising? What is my return on ad spend? Am I generating enough leads from this one thing that I pay for, like a software subscription? Am I maximizing my use of all of my subscriptions? Am I paying people at market rate? Am I paying enough in estimated taxes? Things like this, right? If you're wondering these things during the year, you should have someone who can answer them. And oftentimes your CPA can answer these things, but they come at a higher price. Because if you're going to be asking theoretical questions like this that really affect the business's strategy and direction, then yeah, you're going to pay a premium for these types of services so they can really get intimate and understand your business. That's what a CFO is designed to do. And that is why in our practice, for example, we offer fractional CFO, but that is why I have like no more than 20 clients because I can't be that type of role for hundreds of clients. It's just not going to work. I would be spreading myself too thin. I'd be spreading my team too thin. And I wouldn't be able to show up. I wouldn't be able to be responsive and immersive with my clients the way that I want to. So it's a deeper relationship. It's somebody in your corner. It's basically the alternative to a full-time CFO in your business. That's why we say fractional. Fractional meaning part-time. Fractional meaning virtual or just a contract-based CFO. These are typically independent contractors who run their own businesses like me and can come into your business on a quarterly basis or more frequently and give you a rundown of here's where you're at, here's how you're moving towards your goals, here's what might be holding you back right now. And let's talk about the challenges and the questions that you have right now in your business. And when you have that forum, when you have that container, in order to share that type of knowledge and share that experience and actually celebrate the wins with them and actually share your challenges openly, and you cannot hide because the numbers don't lie. And if that person has access to your numbers, they know the truth. So when you can't bullshit yourself, when you can't bullshit them, a lot gets done. A lot gets done when you have nowhere to hide behind. And if that sounds scary, you know, in a way, I want to say it's meant to be, but it's meant to challenge you. And I think that not enough entrepreneurs are adequately challenged in their business with someone to provide that insight. And I'm not saying they're always going to be the devil's advocate, but I am saying that they're going to help regulate, hold you accountable, and also cheer you on. Because one of my favorite things I get to do as a CFO is watch my clients succeed, watch them grow, watch them double their revenue, and say, yeah. And they actually come back to me and say, thank you for everything you did to make that happen. I'm like, I didn't do anything. You actually did all of it, but you stayed focused. And that's what I helped you do. It's kind of like keep your head on straight. Think of, a coach or a guide in any movie. Like I'm there to help you make sure that you win and make sure that your business thrives and that you're meeting all of your goals. And that's so, so gratifying to see when that's starting to progress and happen. So a CFO is a bit more than your typical accountant. And I think that not enough people appreciate the role of the CFO or understand what it's meant to do. And keep in mind, the role of the CFO is quite subjective. If you ask me what a CFO does, it might be a little bit different than if you ask someone else. You can even ask another person who is a fractional CFO, how do you define that role? What's included? What do you actually do? And you're going to get different answers because it is subjective. And you even ask someone what an accountant does, and you'll get 27 different answers. But I'm telling you what it means to me. So that's what you can expect if you work with us. And I think that, in my opinion, because I have this microphone and I get to share it, in my opinion, that's what a CFO should be doing. So if you are looking for that service and you're not sure if the person that you currently have that you think is supposed to be providing that is really delivering on that value, have that conversation, revisit the relationship, revisit the agreement and say, this is what I really need. And I don't feel like I'm getting it, or this is what I need. And I need recommendations on who can supplement what you're doing so that I feel complete and I feel like I can get all this guidance that I need. And that's a completely legitimate conversation to have. So if you are interested in CFO services with us, they're ideal for business owners who are making $750,000 or more in their business in top line revenue. That is usually the starting point for most of our CFO services. But if you're below that target anyway, you can still reach out. We can still have a chat. We would love to help you with fractional CFO. That's something that we do focus on. We also have some other services and products available too if you're earlier stage. So if you're looking for that type of guidance, head to fitnancialsolutions.com. Link is in the show notes, and check out what we have to offer at our firm. All right, I will see you on the next episode. I can't believe how many episodes we've released of Keep What You Earn. There are literally hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in tax savings contained in our episode library. And there are so many topics that we cover. To make it easier to find more of what you need right now, we actually created a custom curated playlist just for you. That's right, a playlist of value-packed episodes that you're looking for based on your goals right now in your business. Whether you're making your first sale, trying to strategize your taxes, or you're scaling your team, there is something here for everyone. Check out the podcast playlist generator now using the link in the show notes and explore your custom playlist. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and review on your podcast platform. This small action goes a long way for podcasters to get our message heard by more business owners just like you. Be sure to check out the show notes for links to information about our guests and ways to get in touch with me. We'll see you on the next episode.